As for Moderna, though, Jim, these briefing docs are interesting once again. Some of the charts looking at efficacy, placebo versus the drug itself suggests that you start to see efficacy, as in Pfizer, after the first dose.
Yeah, this is fabulous. I think people have to start recognizing that there's going to be a lot of vaccine. There's going to be Moderna. I think there's going to be J&J. Abbott has some news just now about testing. But there is a possibility that these companies will produce en masse a huge number of vaccines. Don't underestimate these companies. They were all understanding that this could happen. And they have a lot of firepower to be able to do a lot of things. They have a lot of money. J&J is the one I'm really hoping for that comes in. A lot of the ones we thought for Europe, that Glaxo's behind, AstraZeneca behind. But, David, the possibility that we get therapeutics, Merck, Regeneron, the possibility that we get vaccines, a Moderna, Pfizer, J&J, the possibility that we get a bridge from Congress, and suddenly you're in a position that you were in last year at this time. It could be very good, David.
Don't you think the market is already taking account of that?
You know, I'm really wrestling with that because I think that there are a lot of stocks that are so high because people feel like what I just said is going to happen. But there are also a lot of companies that I think are really struggling that won't struggle. And here I'm thinking about the airlines. I'm thinking about hospitality. I'm thinking about the non-Zoom economy. We keep talking about the Zoom economy.
Sure.
But I do think that there'll be people. A pent-up demand, David, I think could be extraordinary.
I think you're right. Certainly you would expect that there is going to be a lot of people who want to do a lot of things that they have not been able to do over what could be a full year at the point we actually get back to that, right? What are we talking? The great exodus took place on March 14th in this part of the country, is what I refer to it as. And it's unlikely we get back to anything like normal until at least then, though, Jim. So we're talking, first, probably second quarter, hopefully the summer when you really are sort of a full return. Now, obviously, certain parts of the country sooner than others, although when you look at it right now, it's not good anywhere, whether it's California or Texas or a lot of other states in terms of at least new cases at this point.
Yesterday was a day that the market changes every day. Yesterday was a day that we're about lockdown. And I always look at Peloton, by the way. If people want to look at this, look at Peloton. That is the tail of the tape. That goes up 3, 4, 5 points when we're on lockdown day. It goes down the same when we're on an open day. Carl, the thing I'm watching most is what's happening in New York. The shutdown of restaurants, 13, 14 million people involved in restaurants. There are a lot of people back and forth on Twitter. I don't want anything shut down, but if they have to shut it down for health purposes, then we need some sort of compromise. We need some compromise about unemployment benefits. I think that people don't realize that we're so close, Carl. We're so close. How can the government not agree to fund until we get vaccines? Say, even if it's David's view, which I think is going to be a little later than what can happen. We are so close to getting this economy back on track. But these places that close, Carl, they can't flick a switch and open again. That's just way of life. You can't do it.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.